Louie, talk a little bit about you've had some games that kind of went into this situation and they came out the other way. Tonight it seemed like everything that the last 3 minutes or so were the best 3 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. We just fought hard and just stuck with it, and we never we never put our heads down, and we just kept grinding. Even though they were coming up with big plays, but we were coming right back at them with big plays too. So that was the key. Being at home helps too. We're comfortable, and we just did a good job down the stretch, and we're lucky to pull away with the win here.
Seemed like a very high-energy, emotional game, back and forth, a lot of runs. How were you able to keep it together and push forward?
I think in practice we've been working on some things, screening harder, trying to get our teammates open, putting in new plays that other teams haven't scouted on us yet. So I think those things worked out tonight for us good. We played together as a team. We played hard, made some key plays down the stretch. The biggest thing was getting those 2 stops down the stretch, the big rebounds. And that's what we needed in those last few games. We've been losing close. I think we played really hard.
Louie, how's it feel to kind of get past those 3 games?
It feels good to be back at home, and kind of like the monkey's off your back a little bit. A little cliche, but it's just nice to get a win. Just like we talked the other day, and I said we just wanted to win. So we're just glad to get it. But tomorrow on Monday we'll go back to work and we'll get ready for next game on Thursday.
Charlie, in the first half, it seemed like you were stepping up. Some of that other offense wasn't working. You were kind of leading the charge there, and then everybody else kind of got in the flow.
Yeah. It's like that. We got a couple guys on our teams who can do that. Tonight, I did it in the first half. Louie and Jake stepped up in the second half. So we need those key plays when everyone's not playing well. We need people to lead us when everything's not going well for the whole team. And that's what I tried to do in the first half. Like I said, Jake and Louie carried us in the second half. Trevor also stepped up really big. It was a team effort.
What made those guys tough, Louie?
What makes them tough is they have great perimeter and they're really good inside. They work really hard. They go for every offensive board, and you can't ever take a play off against a team like that because they're going to end up with a layup, which you saw a couple times. But I thought our focus and energy was really good throughout the game, and I thought we matched them a lot because we knew what we were kind of getting into before the game, and we knew they liked to crash the boards and play hard and try to be really physical with it. And so we kind of brought that attitude into the game too, and just lucky it worked out.
Charlie, do you see this as potentially something that can really be kind of an ignition game that can get you going towards some other things as you move along here?
Yeah, especially with us being at home the next 4 games. I think we can start something here, but we got to keep working. That's what it comes down to, is working and grinding every day in practice to get ourselves better. I think we got a good chance to make a great run in the conference. That's what we're trying to do. We're going to keep working.
It was a pretty good game for us on the offensive end. We made some really clutch plays down the stretch with really tough shots. And Louie obviously made a couple big ones for us there. But then on the defensive end, we finally got the stuff that we had to let us win the game. We had a couple steals there. We battled on the boards a little bit, and they're tough to guard. Those guards are very quick, and those big kids are really tough. Big, strong, physical kids. And very pleased that Trevor showed what he showed tonight, and that he even played was, mostly a credit to him and Bruce Fishbach that he got that kid ready to go, and he played well. He couldn't have a lot of explosion with that thing, and I think it hurt him a little bit on the defensive end with that ankle and stuff. And Tech was unable to go. We tried him, and it just, we're going to have to give him a couple of days to let the 2 shots that he had to take yesterday maybe have a little bit of impact on that. But for a banged-up basketball team, I thought they answered the call tonight.
It seemed like they kind of handed off, making you had Westbrook really kind of keeping the offense rolling in the first half, and then Louie and Jake, and even, I guess, to a certain extent, Trevor kind of took over in the second.
We had good balanced scoring tonight. Yeah, obviously Charlie played really well early in the game and through the first half, and then he ran into foul trouble because he was still playing well there. But Kendall did a nice job, created some things for us tonight, got some assists, got to the basket, and that really helped us. But we need those, those guards are, that's the kids that, take most of the shots for us. We need those kids playing better, and they haven't been, as a group, playing, well. We get one or two guys might have a good night, but we need all four of those guys to really make their contributions and stuff. But I thought Ricardo did a nice job defensively. He gets in there and battles. He's really physical, and he set a ton of screens tonight. He got those kids a lot of good looks. So he's a very unselfish player. Sacrificed his scoring and taking shots because he does so much of the dirty work for him. So I thought he was one of the big keys also.
As far as just the idea that you can get that, I know you're just looking at the next game, but you do have a nice homestand here, and starting it off with a win like this has got to, give you a little better attitude going into those games.
Sometimes when you lose the close games that we did, it really shakes your confidence more than if you get beat bad. I'd rather deal with a blowout thing and come in and recover from that than to playing games that you've made the mistake at the end that lets you lose that game. And I think our kids didn't handle that very well. We talk an awful lot about they handle your wins, but you must handle your losses too. And I thought it took a lot out of our team. And we dealt with a couple of those ankle injuries, and we weren't getting our practices in, and then we lost those close games, and we just didn't feel good. No one felt good about anything. And, we hadn't had any great practices because as soon as we got into a physical one on Thursday, Bruce sprains his ankle right away in it. And so it's been, we practice and have that competitive thing in practice. That's when Thomas got hurt, that's when Cutler got hurt, that's when Bruce got hurt. But you got to have it. You got to be able to get through that and deal with that because you got to prepare. And so I hope this builds a little bit of that confidence back. It can be fleeting in this game. Play well in one game, and it's just a hard game to play well every time that you go out. It'll be a good test for us right away on Thursday. Come back, and that's what we're going to have a few days to get back and practice, and maybe give these guys a couple more days to get up there.